Ebusuafo ne tie fo ni die kwan so me pacho me ma obi bia akwaba aha daily update. Ebusuafo me pacho the oral team na yeah president so far or form ye no. Omo bo adwuma papa nti bebi omo bia ye omo kudu so omo bo adwuma ma o man Ghana na ebusua obi kra bebi sam sade ntina America sa me pacho according to an oral team member your friend Martin Pebu or your lawyer ye nyina ye nim no or a member of the oral team we pia ba bontin de insembia betudwa na according to Martin Pebu no NIB boss now no Addo yeah former president ye adwuma which is a returning lands be illegally or acquire because of nani position into or acquire no who say oral team no more ye adwuma gidigidi no or say said no dey on pass them all the lands are illegally or acquire no or say they Akroma referencing or they Akroma the oral team ni say we yin say free who nti see no make us the president yana say the new government onfa na onfa nye the opeso or the ye na ono the onpe asem onpeso oni or mine ebenya Kesi bia nti ebusuya me patcho the ultimate who said the oral team no mo ye the omo baby say omo be recover all the loose nti ebusuya me patcho me ma me kasa nyetintin e be ko ne akoti nsem na kasa nchire mu ewo Martin Pebu ho all can say NIB boss ankasa one na Addo ye adwuma ye former president which is wagye atum e the lands no kra akoma wo mo say omonje na all the illegal lands now or acquire and also all the lands are illegally or acquire no or the more back on person or mind benya case be anya kopuncha no nyokese me da se bebre
negotiate. So there is nothing wrong with exploring the civil angle where we will take money and not proceed with a criminal prosecution. But naturally, it has to be an eclectic approach. When we say eclectic, mosaic approach. So different colors. You cannot say leave all of them, just do recovery and allow all of them to go. No, in that case, the issue of impunity you've mentioned will fester too much. So you prosecute some, then you negotiate with others. So you go with this and that mixed approach, mosaic or eclectic. That's the way to go. But let's look at the Saudi example. You see how bin Salman got over 100 billion from the oligarchs by negotiating with them in a hotel. We should be looking at it. And of course, bringing a lot of
but
law
let me ask you this direct question. With the oral preparatory team, have you had anybody come to you with the loot that they have taken away? That, look, you know what, I don't want any trouble, so you take the money quietly.
Okay, so you know that from our mandate, we are preparatory. So being preparatory, our mandate doesn't involve actual recovery of the loot. That would be in the second stage. Okay. But at least there are examples of people who say they are returning. Do you remember the example of the NIB boss who says, okay, you know, yesterday we went to the Agric Extension land around
the NDA, the National Northern Development Authority?
This one, NIB, National Investigative Bureau.
Okay.
Former BNI,
yes.
The boss. Yeah, he said, you know, because of the advocacy Okujeto was doing on it, and he just called Okujeto and said, listen, at least that's what Honorable Okujeto said. He said, I'm returning my land. I'm no longer interested. Leave me out of this. Yesterday we went to that place. Then,
so he's returned the land that...
Yes, he says he's no longer interested. NIB boss, Atubra. I know Atubra a bit personally. Yeah, that's what Honorable Okujeto said. That Atubra says he's no longer interested in the land. Yesterday we visited that land. Yesterday we went to that place. We went to Labadi where the Blay brothers have taken the land from the Labadi beach. Then we also went to NDA. NDA too, oh, they are taking their land, selling.
Oh, but the CEO says that they haven't encroached on any land.
Which one?
The Northern Development Authority.
Oh, yes, I went there. Oh, I have pictures on my phone. Hey.
I saw you. That's why I'm asking you.
He says, when you go there, you see fresh walls. In the last 1 week, they were building day and night. They've cut a lot of the land. I know the NDA office in Accra, that's why we did the Constitutional Review Commission sittings, etc. Yeah, they've parceled it. Listen, even at one point, there's no space between the building and the wall. I'm telling you, you can send your cameras there, or you will see. At one part of the building, there is no space between the building and the wall. You will see that, which is against the building code. So I'm like, how can you even sell that? You sell so much and sell illegally. Of course, the whole transaction itself, we see it as illegal. Then they've gone extra, so quadruple illegal. There's no space between the building and the wall. That's against the building code, right? Yes. So that's one example. So we visited the agric extension land. We've seen a lot of it. You see the loot, how they were destroying government documents, the buildings. Well, they've parceled it out, but thankfully, since they've not started construction, that's one place that hopefully will be recovering a lot of the loot.
Focus on the loot and leave the prosecution. But then again, you would also understand why some would disagree, because there has to be a deterrent. If it was just about taking money that had been allegedly stolen and not punish the people who stole them, what would deter anybody from stealing money? Counsel.
So then, as usual, let's greet Garmanche. Garmanche has done a yeoman's job by standing up when a lot of chiefs were quiet. Garmanche says he's not resting until we get justice in the Sicily Adapa matter. And sure, thankfully, at least we are on the right path to that. I'm sure in the coming months we'll see what can be done. Ose Adeyo Ajimabedu II, Domahini, thank you for also standing up and talking about bad governance when most people were quiet. People's mouths were full. They said it is bad manners to talk whilst eating. So they were busy eating. Okay, now they finished eating. And Ghanaians have been what? Left short. So Chief Justice Sophia Kufu, thank you very much. Good morning. Hey, and did you hear Sophia Kufu's last interview? In the course of the week, she says the same thing that Justice Tokonu CJ is talking about, changing the constitution in terms of how the Chief Justice is appointed. Currently, we don't have separation of powers. So the Chief Justice is in the armpit of the president. Yeah. So we need to change this constitution quickly. Bring true independence to the judiciary. Look, the way usually the executive hound judges when they have cases concerning the government, etc., it's terrible. It's terrible. Akufo-Addo even took it to the west, where he could hound Bafuboni, Justice Bafuboni of the Supreme Court, day and night. Bafuboni, resign, resign, resign. I'll give you X to resign. I'll give you Y to resign, etc. It's bad. Look, if judges talk to you, you see that they have no peace. They have no peace. They didn't enjoy that much peace under Akufo-Addo at all. They were hounded left, right, center. That is not separation of powers. We need true independence. We need to reform the Judicial Council, make it truly independent of the executive, so that we will have true separation of powers. Right? I mean, you ask lawyers who had cases before judges, and sometimes because of the way Akufo-Addo behaved, you have to find ways of delaying the case, delaying so that Akufo-Addo will be out. Then you know that, okay, now, at least from what we knew the last time, JM is better than Akufo-Addo. He will not hound as much. But just to avoid anything at all like that, let's just change the constitution. You know, the election of the MMDCs, etc. So that this MMDCs will be accountable to the citizens, right? To make our development go faster. Because right now the MMDCs all have to please the president, not the citizens. The citizens or the persons in the districts, the municipalities don't elect those MMDCs. So rather, they look to please the executive, the president, and not the citizens. That's not development, right? Okay, so thank you. So now, Mr. Joe Jackson says we should concentrate more on the recovery of the loot. Look, talking bluntly, not as a lawyer. You know, when I come here, it's not every time I'm wearing a lawyer's cap. I have to wear other caps. I'm a citizen as well. And I know how, things work out in court. I largely support him. So this is a personal opinion. Okay, it's not the opinion of ORA, right? No, it's a personal opinion. I'm allowed to talk briefly on personal issues like this. I can make a personal opinion. Okay. You see, all the arguments is articulated. They are very solid. You think people who have stolen millions of dollars would readily go down? No. They get into court. It's one objection after the other. From objection to objection, like the way JM said, from crisis to crisis, right? Yes, so the same thing in court. From objection to objection, objection to objections. Then the time keeps running. Kukwasa, slow to avoid a conviction. But a lot of these people, if we're negotiating with them quietly, and as I said, Joe Jackson basically said a lot of the things I would have said if you asked me this question. He cited a good example of MBS. MBS is Mohammed bin Salman. That's the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. That's what he did. He caught the oligarchs and locked them up in a hotel. Said, look, you are not leaving this hotel until, we have a deal. One by one, he negotiated deals with them. And by the time he was done, he got over $100 billion, right?
Well, but how do you negotiate with looters, really?
Good. That's what I'm saying. So it's good. That's why we are debating this. Yes. How do you negotiate with looters, really? I understand you. So you are coming from a strict legal standpoint that there should be deterrence, etc. Yes, I appreciate it. But right now, as we're talking, you see, the legal process is long. It's frustrating, right? So if somebody wants to give up the cash quietly, it's not possible. We are talking, okay? As I'm not talking for Ora, okay? I'm a citizen. I was always here before Ora came. If we were to say, oh, don't talk because you're Ora, no, we'll stifle debate, right? So let's look at it. Let's take the example of the venture capital case, Lawyer Lassie and the others. They returned the money. Venture capital, you know, venture capital, yes, a lot of it. I'm not sure they fully paid, but I know some have fully paid. But others I'm not sure of. So, but at least I'm mentioning that case where they returned it. Except that, you see, theirs came with a conviction. And also, number two, there are very few people who accept a conviction. So, with what Joe Jackson is talking about, there's the other method where we can sue in a civil court. We should explore the OSP Act when it says to recover the corruption loot. So we can attempt, let's try the jurisprudence. You see, any lawyer who practices daily in court will tell you that he's not afraid to lose. I'm sure I'm largely in this seat because I tried certain laws in the Supreme Court. I mean, like challenge them and then I won. Even if I had lost, well, that wouldn't have been the matter, but at least would have moved the jurisprudence forward. So I subscribe to the opinion that we should try with the OSP to say that, okay, maybe we can try the civil lawsuits. Okay. Where we see that the evidence for a criminal lawsuit will be difficult to, get a conviction, and also the time spans. So you know that Isimesi has so much money, you know, the unexplained wealth thing. Yeah, so that we'll use it. Let's try something. I mean, if we were to lose, you will not lose a lesson in the judgment. Even when you lose a case, you learn some lessons. So I support the one where we will do the civil cases where we want to recover from those people when we don't get the evidence. Mr. Apiakubi is coming here, Honorable Apiakubi. You know, he never disclosed the identity of the businessman who brought the Ghana Must Go cash to Parliament. And so it frustrated that case. Honorable Barra, you're in that Parliament. Honorable Apiakubi, who is about taking his seat now, refused to disclose the identity of the businessman. And so what happened? That case is become virtually Yamutu, right? So that's a practical lesson. So what we are saying is that, listen, there's a lot of brinkmanship, right? People who have committed crimes, criminal offenses especially, don't want to go down. And our systems are not strong enough, okay? As I've already mentioned to the judiciary, etc. Akufo-Addo will be in there telling Kesi Ejabin, don't prosecute this person, delay this because elections are close, etc. They'll go and see judges, hey, don't do this, don't do that. You see, Akufo-Addo, who has no shame in telling Bafo Boni to resign. Can you imagine all the other things he's done to the judiciary? Okay. Right? So the point is that our systems are weak. So there is nothing wrong with exploring the civil angle where we will take money and not proceed with a criminal prosecution. But naturally, be an eclectic approach. When we say eclectic, mosaic approach, so different colors. You cannot say, leave all of them, just do recovery and allow all of them to go. No, in that case, the issue of impunity you've mentioned will fester too much. So you prosecute some, then you negotiate with others. So you go with this and that mixed approach, mosaic or eclectic. That's the way to go. But let's look at the Saudi example. You see how bin Salman got over 100 billion from the oligarchs by negotiating with them in a hotel. We should be looking at it. And of course, bringing a lot of
but
law
let me
reform.
ask you this direct question. With the oral preparatory team, have you had anybody come?
Ebusua me patcho me da obi bia sese wanyamre no abenye videos ni bi nso ahye aha daily update TV. Eni die kwan so me patcho hwe videos no. Hwe wie ni se woni gye ho a please with the greatest respect mesre wo say obe subscribe to your YouTube channel, obe like it na wa share your videos. Ama love it so enya bi etie yankopon sha na onye okese. Patcho wo comment a mesre so be no constructive. Now they share comment section ye beje na ya kenkan. Yankopon sha yina na onye okese. Utimuso oral team no mo boy dwuma pa operation recover all loot committee and as a team na yeah president or te no omo boy dwuma pa baby omo obi akudus to them pacho wo koda na wo bompire momo so yakopon so bema omo ahoden nyansa eni nimdi omo betimi e de beye edwuma den ama oman no yakopon hya ye nyina na onye ekese ebusua me pacho makasa kakra. Say the mechanic and no comment in constructive never share comment section. Ye bejina ya kenkan. Pacho ye dun komoni besi anyanko punsha na onyo kesi. Me da si bebre.